Freak Nation, we lost track of how many race wins that Greg Anderson's won in a lifetime. All right, let's make it 98. And he surpasses the professor and Warren Johnson. And I think the first question that I have is, what was it like to get that phone call from Warren Johnson once you passed him up,
Oh, really?
Greg Anderson, with those race wins in Pro Stock, buddy?
How did I know that was the first question out of the gate? It's, I don't know. I think I got to get a hold of Verizon tomorrow because I don't seem to be getting incoming calls. I don't know what's going on. There's got to be something wrong with my phone. I mean, at least I'm not getting any from the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Well, you know I say that in jest because I know you're not going to get a phone call from Warren Johnson, who at the time had more Pro Stock wins than anybody on the planet, and you decided to come up there and take care of business. Let's go back a few years with all these race wins that you've been accumulating. You've had more ups than downs, but your downs have been kind of wicked as well. Where is the state of Greg Anderson now holding on to the most race wins in Pro Stock? Could you just return the keys tomorrow and be happy with what you've done?
I suppose I could, Kenny, but no, I haven't lived for breaking Warren Johnson's record. I tell everybody every time they ask me, when are you going to give this up? And my answer is as soon as I can't win anymore. I go to these races to win. I always have. I don't go to place or to show. I don't enjoy that. You get your most fun out of winning. That's what it's all about to me. And I'm still able to win. So am I satisfied with where I'm at? No, because I think I'm still capable of winning. I've got a great car. The HendrickCars.com Chevy has been absolutely bad to the bone all year. And quite honestly, I should have probably broke this record long ago. And I've dropped the ball a few times this year. I haven't got it done, but still the bottom line is it's a great package. And I can still win. And as long as I can still win, I'm going to keep digging. And obviously the next goal is 100. If I can get to 100, we'll set a new goal. But I'm not ready to cash it in yet and call it a season or call it a career.
I believe it was last year we were talking to you about chasing 100, and you didn't really want to mention numbers at that time. You seem to be a little bit more comfortable with that now.
It seems like the closer I got to it, the more I became okay with it. And when I finally got to tie Warren, then I finally came to the realization it's going to happen. I really think it's going to happen. And I think before that, when I was 2, 3, 4 away, I still had doubts that it could happen. And there's no guarantee what tomorrow brings in this class. Obviously, we had the whole COVID shutdown and reduction in races and wondering if we'd ever get to the damn racetrack again. So you just never know how many more opportunities you're going to get. And when I finally, broke through and got the tying win, that it just like a light went off in my head. I can do this. We're going to get this record. And I have a great opportunity now. We're able to race the rest of the season, and NHRA is on the upswing again. And the class is doing great. The class is the best it's ever been. The Pro Stock class right now is absolutely the best it's ever been. The competition is the toughest it's ever been, which makes it the hardest to win, but still it's thriving and it's going to go on. So that gave me the confidence that I was going to be able to get it done. And yeah, it probably took a few races longer than it should have, but we did get it done. And now it's on to the next step. And that's winning the next event and trying to find a way to win a 5th world championship. It's been 10 years since we won a championship. So I really want that bad. And everybody that asks me, is it a distraction to worry about the record? It's not, because if you win the race, you set the record. If you win the race, you get the most points. And that goes towards a championship. So it's all good, and it's just fine to worry about it and think about it.
You've talked about it a couple times now in how, maybe I should have done this a little bit sooner. Maybe that number 98 should have been a few races ago. However, you also brought up how the class, Pro Stock, is the most competitive it's been possibly ever. So isn't it nicer now? I mean, I don't know. Everybody's competitive minds are so different. They're so unique. But do you think it's a little bit nicer now to get wins when they're harder to come by versus rolling over the field?
Absolutely, positively. There's a lot of great years there where we were just flat expected to win. If we didn't, it was a huge disappointment. And that's not the way it is anymore. You now know when you roll into a race and you qualify, whether you qualify 1st or 16th, you still got a great chance of winning that race. And there's so many young kids. I mean, talent, unbelievable in this class right now. And And what's different now than it was, years ago when young talent came into the class, they're coming into the class, they're jumping into race cars that are absolutely the best that can be built. They're jumping into an engine. They have an engine that's the same engine that I have, the same engine that Eric Anders has, and not 1 horsepower less. So they're jumping into a great opportunity to win right off the bat. And that didn't happen years ago. So all those things have made the class 100% better. They've made it way harder to win, but they've made the class 10 times better. So, I take a lot of credit for that too. Between us here at KB Racing and Elite Motorsports, we've, basically decided to lease the same exact equipment that we race ourselves. And it's really even the pack out, and it's made it tough to win, but it's made the class fantastic.
Greg Anderson, are you going to be racing in your 70s like John Ford?
I think I can go out on a limb and say no. That's asking too much. And I know John Force is still getting it done. He's 70 whatever, and he's still getting it done. But I don't think I can already see that it's harder to do the things I used to do. And I can still cut a light, but I can't cut it every time anymore. It's like that country song. I'm good once, but I'm not as good as I once was, or some damn thing like that. That's kind of the way it is when you get old. You can still do it, and you can still string together a few in a row, but to do it every single time, those days are gone. They're gone with the youth.
Have you changed the way you train for this?
I do. I work at it a lot harder because I've had to. And the bottom line is every one of these young cats can go out there. They can be 00. They can be teen on the light. They have a car that's just as fast as me. If I can't find a way to do that, I can't win. So I've had to find a way. It's just, the price of poker went up, and I had to find a new way to reinvent myself and find a way to cut a light. And I'm, I've made progress on it where I can still do it. But like I say, I just haven't been able to cross that bridge where I can do it every single time. And that's what you want to get to. That's what I'm trying to get to. But I've at least gotten halfway where I can do it sometimes.
You going to keep it a secret, or are you going to do a Zoom seminar and tell us all how to?
It changes every day. That is the God's honest truth. When I go to a race and I do well, I say, okay, well, I'll stick to that formula. See if I can do it again next week. And then I go the next week and I can't do it again. So now I got to go home and I got to reinvent a new way of driving again, a new way to let my foot off the clutch, a new way to think about things, a new way to stare at the tree. And it's crazy how you just got to keep reinventing yourself. But that's been it for me. There hasn't been one simple thing that's worked, at least not long term. It's worked for a race or two in a row, and then all of a sudden you got to find something new.
Wow.
Has there ever been a time, Greg Anderson, 98 wins, NHRA Pro Stock are joining us here in the Freak Nation. Has there ever been a time such as this where the class shares so much technology and information with people in the same field? Because it just seems like everyone's got their hands on something that Greg Anderson's doing.
Absolutely not. And I can think back to when we had all our, I guess you call them glory years or whatever, when we were able to win. I guess I won 15 races in 1 year. Well, all I had to worry about, and all Jason Line and myself and my crew chief, Rob Downing, had to worry about was finding a way to make Greg Anderson's car the best it could be. Didn't worry about anything else. And it's not like that anymore. I spend 90% of my time nowadays trying to figure out how to make my rental customers fast enough to beat me. And so it's just a crazy formula, and it's hard to take that bite and to swallow your pride and just give up that soul. It's all about me type of deal, because it's just not anymore. It's about all your rental customers, and it's about keeping the class great and keeping the class interesting to everybody and trying to attract more newcomers to the class. It's absolutely in spades saved the class, made the class the best class that NHRA has. So how can I argue with it? Even though it's made it very much difficult for Greg Anderson to win every week, it's absolutely made the class better. And now we have a future, which 2-3 years ago, I couldn't say that.
Right.
Well, when did you come to this realization that this is what needed to happen? Because like you just alluded to, that's not an easy realization to come to, but your long legacy in this sport, it might not be your championships as much as it is you saving pro stock.
Yeah, honest to God, we really feel that way, and Richard Freeman feels that way too. With Elite Motorsports, it's a heck of a decision we made, and now that we look back at it, how did we come to that? How did we come to grips with doing that? That's the amazing part, that we actually bought in. I can't remember, if he floated the idea first or if I did or we did it together or what, but how did we actually agree to do this and then follow through and absolutely do it and do it to the best of our ability? That's the amazing part to me. And if you told, one of the other classes, Top Fuel Funny Car, they're kind of in a little bit of trouble this year where they're struggling to get enough cars at the races and things. And I think to myself, we showed them what the formula was, but if you're Don Schumacher or you're, one of the top owners out there, and all you've worried about all these years is trying to make my team as fast as I can make it, my number one driver as fast as I can, how do I bite that bullet and say, you know what, that's not about him anymore. It's not about her anymore. It's about the entire class. So we showed them how to do it, but I can't imagine anybody else is going to be crazy enough to do what we did.
Greg Anderson, I feel like I want to ask you a couple of questions that we asked earlier, Glenn Cromwell. The one thing is that the NHRA has spent years promoting technology and speed and horsepower, but we found out in 21 years that they have some of the best personalities in the driver's seat. Do you think the NHRA is spending too much time promoting speed when they got some great personalities out there that could help sell the sport?
Yeah, you're probably right there. That's probably where we missed the boat, where NASCAR went down the different road and they promoted all the drivers. But I tell myself all the time as I'm at these drag races, or if, for whatever reason, like today, I sat home. I'm not at the race at Bristol. They're racing in Bristol and Pro Stock's not there, right? So I actually sat home and watched the race. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, it's so much different in person than it is on TV, but I could actually put myself on the grounds and feel it. And it's the sport itself, the feel, the smell, the sensitivity of it. There's nothing that compares to it. There's no other sport, not NASCAR, not any other motorsport out there that compares to the product that we have. So then I think, well, how do we not focus on that's the product? That's what makes NHRA great. But as we've done that, we've probably missed, the opportunity to promote the drivers and their personalities. So, I guess you got to give NASCAR credit. They did a great job promoting their personalities, and they got huge, and they're still huge. So how can you argue against that? So, yeah, we probably missed the boat a little bit there. But you know what? It's never too late.
But how would you, Greg Anderson, promote Greg Anderson, the driver? And would Brittany, your daughter, agree? Because isn't she the one that used to wear the Erica Enders shirts around your pits?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I lack a little personality, probably. I'm not certainly a John Force out there. I'm not going to be that outgoing personality that sells tickets just every time he opens his mouth. I'm not going to be that guy, but there's still a lot of interesting stories. People need to know your families. They need to know, obviously my wife, Kim, everybody's seen her at the racetrack, but nobody really knows her. Nobody knows my daughter, Brittany. Nobody knows my son, Cody, that well. So, we need to expose all that stuff, just like every other racer in the class does. It's not all about us. It's about everybody that works on these teams and all their families. I mean, everybody that works on this race team, including me, our families have given up pretty much 90% of their lives to support our dream, to support our habit, basically, and the sacrifices they go through and, the life that we have off of the racetrack. It's something that needs to be shown, and there's no question that NASCAR does a heck of a lot better job of doing that. But like I say, it's never too late. We can certainly start doing that anytime.
We'll get you back to the interview in just a little bit. Have you heard about Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner? Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner is made of the highest quality components, giving you superior performance and leaving no residue. How do you apply this? You apply Lucas Brake Parts Cleaner liberally to the parts that need to be cleaned. You'll eliminate brake fluid, grease, dust, and dirt components. We know a little bit about that here in the desert, I'd say. And basically what that does is that makes you a happy driver, because now your brake noise is gone and your performance has gone up. Boom. All right, let's get back to the interview now.
Is NASCAR NHRA's competition, or is the NFL or NBA, all other forms of entertainment? You're all after the same audience.
They are.
Is NASCAR your competition for that audience?
Well, I guess I just, I bring it down to the racing industry, and they're the big brother. They're the ones that got the biggest. They're the ones that got the big TV contract and their household names. So, They're the ones I look at.
Greg, let me jump in here a minute. You have to sell sponsorships. I guess you're a participant in that program. Do you compete against NASCAR, or do you compete against all other forms of entertainment when you try to sell these sponsorships?
I feel that we do compete against NASCAR, and maybe it shouldn't be that way. Maybe we need to open our eyes, and it's just that and I'm a huge football fan, right? But I look at football as the top of the heap. That's the number one sport. How are you going to cut into their niche that they've got? How are you going to cut into their audience? That's very difficult. I can't stop watching it myself. So how's anybody else going to stop watching it? So I don't know how you cut into that. As far as the sponsorship dollars, I think the best sales package we have is people coming to the racetrack and they see a sport that is unlike none other. There's no other sport like drag racing. Like I said, the smell, the sense, the feel, the noise is just there's nothing that can compare to that. The product is 10 times better than any other motorsport. Is it better than NFL football? It's different strokes for different folks. It is in my book, but different strokes for different folks. But as far as a motorsport, I think it's the best one. And TV doesn't do it justice. You know that. Right. You can't smell anything. You can't feel anything on TV. Or you see the hits and everything on football on TV. You actually feel them, the bone-jarring, crushing hits that they go through. So it's a completely different deal. But our sport, you have to be there. You got to be on the grounds, and then you understand it. And it's still true to this day. I've never taken anyone to an NHRA drag race for their first time that those people didn't leave saying, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. That's the coolest sport I've ever seen. I want to come back. I've never had anybody say, it's not for me. I don't think I want to come back. Not one yet. So that's got to tell you right there, it's pretty special.
But I love hearing this conversation and then looking at the sponsor on your shirt of Hendrick Cars. And of course, we're talking about Rick Hendrick, who is a NASCAR team owner. Essentially, all boats rise on a high tide together. So you're not necessarily competing against NASCAR. You're building with them with some of those same eyeballs. And if you can bring somebody over from NASCAR who's never been to a drag race before, they're going to be hooked.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of the guys. Obviously, we're in Charlotte here, so I know a lot of the guys that work on all these NASCAR teams, and during their downtime in the garage, they're watching drag racing. During our downtime in our trailers at the racetrack, we're watching NASCAR. So it intermingles, it intertwines. We watch each other, we respect each other. And now with Rick Hendrick jumping into drag racing and supporting my operation here and becoming a partner with me, it's made this year, I think, probably the coolest year I've had. I can't thank Summit enough for all the great years they've had with me, and they're still on board. And I always said it's the very best sponsor you could ever have in the world. But if you got to go to a plan B finally, after all those years, how could you possibly hope to get a better sponsor than Rick Hendrick and HendrickCars.com? It's number one in my book. He's the coolest dude I ever met. If you guys, obviously, you probably met him. He's one of those guys that you'll never hear anybody say a bad word about. And those are the kind of people we like. And all his employees are the same way. They're classed from top to bottom, and they're just great people. And it's fantastic. And I'm absolutely honored, completely honored to have him on the side of my race car. And he knew, when he jumped on my car, he knew that something big was going to happen this year with me and with our race team. And he was right. He's no dummy. Let me tell you, he's a smart man. He's a smart individual. And he jumped on for the ride. And we've got a special year going. And now we hope to cap it off. And I just finished watching Kyle Larson dominate again, completely crush him at Texas this year. And it just makes you so proud to basically be a part of that team, a part of that organization, and to wear the same sponsor that Kyle Larson's wearing. He's the odds-on favorite this year to win the championship. And I've got a great chance if we could go on and somehow find a way for both of us to get it done. What a stroke of genius again by Rick Hendrick.
You're going to swap cars with Kyle Larson. You're going to let him drive your Pro Stock car.
I told him the other day that he is more than welcome. The keys are always in it. And come on over and give it a shot. He drives anything. You guys know him. He's from your area out there. He can drive the wheels off of anything. And I've watched him for a long time drive go-karts and every single kind of vehicle there is. And he absolutely is a wheelman. And Rick Hendrick's a genius for hiring him this year. It's really that simple. And, yeah, I'd hand the keys to my car to him in an instant.
Fingers crossed Kyle Larson can get it done. Now that he's locked into the Final Four in Phoenix, that's one weekend, if I have done my calendar right, that's one weekend before your finals in Pomona. So let's have Kyle wrap it up in Phoenix and then come join you in Southern California for your finals.
That's right. And that's different this year. They've always finished the week after us.
Right.
And this year, for whatever reason, they're going to finish the week before. So the way I got it scheduled out, they're all going to have an off weekend when we're trying to finish up. So, yeah, we'll see if we can get them out there to support us and see if we can bring home that championship.
Is there technology, Greg Anderson, Pro Stocker, joining us here in the Freak Nation, is there technology that you share or that Rick Hendrick's Cup teams, stock car teams share between you and Rick?
I can't hear you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Is it our connection?
Rick?
Okay.
Listen, Greg. Why would that be secretive? Why can't you say that, yes, Rick Hendrick shares with Greg Anderson?
No, we're not, honestly, Kenny. We're not. But quite honestly, as we go forward, if there's a future together with us, there will absolutely, positively be back and forth going on between the two of us. There is absolutely always something I can learn from someone else, and somebody can always learn something from another person. Everybody, I believe that all my life. That's the truth. And a great organization like that, how could I be stupid enough to not try to tap into that? That would be a complete missed opportunity. So yes, we're definitely going to address that. We have not yet, Kenny, but we will definitely.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff symbiotically come around here. Tony Stewart just joined the NHRA ranks officially this week. Rick, come on, man. Greg, come on. You and Greg, let's do this.
I hear you. I like it. I like this NASCAR tie-in. I like the technology tie-in. It's great for our future. As I said, 2-3 years ago, things were looking a little grim, and then COVID hit, and oh my God, could this be the end? So I don't feel that way anymore. I feel fantastic, and I'm having more fun this year racing than I've had in a lot of years. I'm having a blast driving this car, and I'm just proud as a peacock to be displaying the colors I'm displaying.
Wow, that's
We've
cool.
been strong proponents of sharing the racetrack with other series, whether it's drag racing and IndyCar, NASCAR. Sonoma would be a perfect fit for that. And there's other tracks, at least in the same area, where you on the same weekend you could have a race in Indianapolis, an IndyCar race, a Cup race, and an NHRA race, not necessarily the same track.
Yep.
Where does Greg Anderson stand on that? Wouldn't you like to join up with one of those other series?
I would absolutely love it. Like I say, we spend a lot of our time watching them and all our downtime, and I know they do too. So they would love to see it. We would love to see it. What's the holdup? Let's make it happen.
Yes.
See if you can make that happen, Kenny.
Damn. Listen, man, we're celebrating 21 years, Broham. That's the only thing I'm focused on. It's going for 22.
And we're back to numbers.
Yeah.
I hear you.
What's the greatest gift Warren Johnson's given to you for Christmas, Greg Anderson?
Oh, God. I don't know, Kenny. It's been so long. I can't. That was another life. That was a complete another life. That's how I look at that. This is it's like I was reborn again. This is a second chance at life. And I had a great life there, but this is an even better one. So I don't know. He was great to me. I'm never going to say anything bad about the man. I learned a ton from him. I respect the hell out of him. And if he never calls, he never calls. I guess I'll be all right with that.
One thing you learned from him. You said it was a ton. One thing you learned from him. Let's hear 1 ounce of that ton.
But the thing that I think is the most important thing I learned from him, and I'm the most proud of, is basically I come to the conclusion. I don't know if he said it directly to me or I just learned it through observing or living it or whatever, but you have to surround yourself with good people. If you want to succeed in life, absolutely the key to succeeding in life is surrounding yourself with good people. And that's what I'm the most proud of with this KB racing team I've built. Is the people I've surrounded myself with. All they do is make me look good. So that's the winning formula right there. And that's what I'm the most proud of. And that's the number one thing I learned from WJ University.
Wow. Is Kim in the room?
She's right outside there somewhere. Hey, babe.
Can we end this thing looking at
hang on,
talking to Kim?
Hang on, let me fetch her.
All right.
And the dogs, too.
Oh, all right.
Give me
Those trophies.
Wow.
Hey,
Love it.
what kind of chair is it? Like a deck chair he's sitting in?
Oh, man. That's an easy chair to kick back and put his feet up on the desk and be like, this is the life.
Right?
That's exactly what that chair is.
Man.
Yeah, look at all those Wallies back there, too. And you see Summit, you see Full Throttle, you see Mellow Yellow, you see, I'm sure Powerade is in there somewhere, too. It's amazing.
Right.
Hey,
Oh,
How are you
yeah.
guys? Hi.
there's the wee one, too.
We
Hi. I know. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Look at those boys.
We're
I love
great.
those dogs.
You'll notice Kenny's not raising his left shoulder.
Oh, he's not.
No.
Busted.
Yep. Right there.
Yeah, Kenny, why is that?
We'll stop there.
That's not good.
No, it's not, frankly.
No.
It isn't. Isn't any good. Right?
You know what this one's been doing all day?
Yes, tell.
NASCAR race, football game, drag race, and now golf. And then I got another football game. This is what this guy's been doing all day long, sitting in front of the TV.
My remote finger's getting a little tired today.
His finger is really tired from changing TV channels.
How many TV sets did it take to watch all of that?
Oh my gosh, he is like.
I need more
where-
TVs. You're right.
He needs to go to a race.
You hear that?
He-
I need more
oh,
TVs.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
I've
it's
never seen him sit so much. I mean, literally. He went.
But hold on, though. He kind of earned it with number 98, though, right?
I totally agree. But he did go to work this morning. He kind of
Okay.
broke it to me. He usually takes Sundays off, but he had to go to work today. But he got home before the football game started, though.
No, it was halftime.
No, it wasn't.
oh boy.
And sorry about your Panthers, too, losing in overtime.
I was actually okay with it because they lost to my Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, right. That's right.
That's right.
I said, you've lived here in North Carolina longer than you did in Minnesota. He's like, well, I know. You know what? I really hope y'all talk to us, November 4th,
Mhm.
11th, 12th?
13th, yeah.
13th, yeah.
Ramona?
I'm hoping we get to chat with you guys.
Right.
I'm
So do
hoping
we.
to.
I'm hoping.
Badass.
And bring the dogs back for that one, too.
I know, right? Aren't they cute? They're
Yes.
little. This is Gracie and this is Harley. This is Greg's, by the way. That's all about his boy right there. Yeah.
So does Harley a football fan, too? Oh, look at
Yes.
Oh,
look
my
at that.
goodness.
Yes, he is.
Is he losing his man card right now? I
Yeah,
love it.
it's gone.
No.
Yeah, it's
Nothing
over.
better than animals. Come on.
Sometimes they're a little better than humans, actually.
Sometimes, most of the time.
Most of the
Most
time.
of the time.
Most of the
Jeez.
time. Most of the time.
Yep.
Greg, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Good to see y'all.
See you, Kim.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good night.